To me, what's special about a Ralph McDonald portrait is that it does tell a story.
Usually I'm inspired by my surroundings, and whenever I would see a deer or a rabbit or anything, I would get excited about it when I was a kid, and I'd want to do something about it. I'd go home and do a few sketches or something like that. And there's one particular painting I did called The Last Apple. The people I was hunting with put me in a stand, and out in front of me there was only one apple hanging on the tree. I never did see a deer all day long, and so I kept imagining maybe one would come up and get that apple. And the whole picture just kind of came to me, as I was sitting there looking at that apple.
When our new license vendor, the Brandt Company, asked me if I knew any wildlife artists in Tennessee that might help them in creating a hard card, so to speak, for licenses to be placed on, and also to serve as a collectible item for folks over the years. So, yeah, I do know a few wildlife artists, so I gave them several names of people here in Tennessee, and it wasn't very long. They called back and said, "We've talked to a fellow by the name of Ralph McDonald. Do you know Ralph?" And I do, and I related a few stories back from about the mid-'70s when Ralph helped us to create our image for the hunter education program of kind of a Tennessee long hunter in the old coonskin cap and that kind of thing.
My dad was a hunter, and he always took us hunting, and we loved the outdoors, and so I kind of wanted to do some painting of wildlife, and so I painted a deer splashing through some water and ducks coming around behind him, and I took it out to the conservation department, and I said, if you'll put this on your magazine cover, I won't charge you any money. Just give me a little exposure. And they did, and I met Bill Jenkins, who had run for governor, and he was the commissioner at the time. And he said, well, we need to get you to meet Governor Dunn and get you to do the Mockingbird for the state of Tennessee.
He is an illustrator by heart, and the whole reason he wanted to be an artist was to tell the stories of places and things and animals and people that he's seen.
When he does one of his typical Tennessee hunting scenes, somebody in a duck blind, somebody out in the field, an owl sitting on an old fence post, a Bob White in front of an old rustic barn, those are things that just make you want to be there, and it's absolutely Tennessee.
For Ducks Unlimited, they started asking me for donations way back, and I saw what it was doing, and that my art was really kind of making a difference. And there was a real purpose for it, and like over the years, DU has raised over $30 million from the sale of my prints, and I have worked with the Wild Turkey Federation and raised a lot of money for them. And I get a lot of pleasure out of them, raising, I don't raise a lot of money for myself, but I do those places. But I get a lot of pleasure out of seeing what my work can do to help the conservation, environmental things that are going to issues that are happening today.
We wanted to give an option to our people who buy hunting and fishing licenses. When our ordinary process is that you would get a receipt, a piece of paper that has your license information on it. This option would allow you for an additional fee. It's strictly up to the person who's buying the license, but additional fee to put this on a hard card like a credit card or a driver's license so that it's easily carried, it can go into a person's wallet, billfold, and it will withstand the test of time. But it's also based on the idea that a person could collect these over time, and they're based on paintings that Ralph McDonald has done from original artwork that he's allowed us to reproduce here at no fee to him at all, just for the ability to raise money for hunting and fishing programs in the state of Tennessee.
Like the deer, I've done a lot of deer hunting, and didn't do so good, when I would come in, and we'd all be sitting around talking, and somebody would tell me, well, I came by that stand where you were, and I saw this great looking buck out there. The bass painting that I did, maybe next time, well, I've lost a few bass too, where they get under a log, break their line and whatever, and I assume that other fishermen have done the same thing and would identify with that.